I've got the odd friend that's a bit left, and they're like, "Oh, fucking, what are you going after?" And I can't mention him because he get pissed off if I talk about him. But a very close person to me.
My own family. No, yeah. I've had a lot of people.
I used to have a lot of friends, and then I started speaking honestly and openly, and then you realise who your friends really are.
Guys, how are we?
Very good, very good. It's been a busy
Great
week.
seeing you guys.
Been a busy week.
Very
It
busy.
doesn't stop, does it? Doesn't stop. What have you been up to, Swano?
Graft, trying to catch up with everything in the political spectrum, trying to stay on top of the news, trying to look after my personal side of life. It's been busy, but mainly just working at the moment. Just
Imagine if you
working
had
towards a better
friends.
future.
You'd be really busy then.
I used to have a lot of friends, and then I started speaking honestly and openly, and then you realise who your friends really are. Also, I stopped going out and drinking alcohol. Again, you realise who your friends really are. And yeah, that does not bother me. I'd rather be doing what I feel like my heart is right and being on the journey that I've set out to be on than, being distracted in the pub, moaning about it down there instead. It doesn't
Do you
bother
know
me.
what? It's funny you say that because this is it's a good chat.
So
like
woke.
I've had, but I've had I've got a lot of my mates are all like beer drinking footballers. You know, sparkies, plumbers, builders. And like when I see them, when I first started doing social media, they'd all be like, "What the fucking hell's Bruce think he's doing? Like gobbing off about politics? But what's he know about politics? Blah blah blah." This was like 4 or 5 years ago, and oddly enough, now I get a lot of them come up to me saying, "Oh, mate, you highlight so much stuff that we just don't see, don't you? Like everything you're doing is great." I've got the odd friend that's a bit left, and they're like, "Oh, fucking, what are you going after?" And I can't mention him because he get pissed off if I talk about him. But a very close person to me is a bit of a anti the right, and he's me and
Why are
him
you
don't
friends
see
with
eye
that
to eye.
person?
It's a little bit more complicated than that. It's not.
Someone didn't listen to the voice notes this week.
Yeah, but
How,
I know you've got a bit of this, ain't you, Rich? You've got like you got a bit ostracised, didn't you? From
My own family. No, yeah. I've had a lot of people when I started saying things like, I didn't want people coming here, the rubber dinghy rapid bros. I didn't want them turning up en masse and getting everything for free. I don't really agree with mass and illegal immigration. I'm not even going to say I lost a lot of people because there's no loss in it.
did you take it as kind of you found out who your friends were?
Yeah, but yeah,
I suppose it's
essentially.
different if it's
I
family,
think
it's
isn't it?
tough with
I
family.
think, right, and I don't want to get like too deep on this, right? But I think we surround ourselves with people who we all have like really shallow friendships. It's a surface level type friendship where you meet up once a week, once a month, once every 6 months, something like that. You go out, you get pissed, you talk shit for a few hours, you go home, and you don't really catch up with them again for like weeks, months at a time, right? Proper surface level stuff. And I don't know, maybe it's me being a bit... I've changed since I started doing all this, I'll be honest with you, because I really struggle with things like small talk about the weather. I really struggle when people say things and I think, no, I think you're just wrong. I like to, and I'm never confrontational with it, and I don't want an argument with people, but, people will say something to me, oh, these bloody flags going up, it's very divisive, isn't it? And I'm like, no, it's not, and I can't help myself. I used to be able to kind of entertain small talk, going out, getting pissed, having sort of surface level conversations. And now I just can't do it. I cannot do it. So there's been
I
a
can
mixture of
resonate
things.
with that.
100%.
Yeah, I've been ostracised by friends, family. I've got members of family who don't even talk to me anymore because of what I do online. But at the same time, I kind of don't have time for a lot of people anymore either. I don't have time for small-mindedness.
Muggles. I call them muggles, mate.
It
Do you know what,
literally is
mate?
an
I don't wanna-
intelligence thing.
And it's
I
not a
don't-
derogatory
no, do you know
thing,
what?
but it's the people that are not awake. The people
Yeah,
that
it
are not
is.
paying
You're just
attention.
being an arsehole to people who don't like to talk about politics, Bruce. Not everyone is like you, all right? No, do you know what it is, right?
He's not
I
wrong,
think-
though. He's not wrong.
I think we because we can see the problems that we're facing as a country, we get very riled up, and we're very, look, to me, yes, I'm worried about our country, of course I am, but it's almost kind of a hobby to me as well. It's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in politics. I'm interested in the way we're going as a country. A lot of people, and I don't blame them, mate, most people are just trying to fucking get through life. They're just trying to go
Ignorance
to
is
work,
bliss.
earn the money, pay the bills. Yeah, and then when you sit down with them, right, and you say, look, I really think we need to talk about the Fabian Society because there is a deep-rooted issue here. They're just like,
They're like,
and it's not their
yeah,
fault, man. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
I had to leave Christmas Day last year because it all got too political, and I learned my lesson
Really.
then. It didn't get mentioned this year, but the whole conversation was defending pretty much the opposite of my opinions, based off of not facts, just what they'd heard in the mainstream media.
Oh,
And
mate, yeah.
after a couple of bottles of red wine, it was just too easy to say what I wanted to say, and that was it. It was chaos. I was out quicker than you can imagine.
Yeah, when I was, yeah, my family obviously know what I do. My mum supports me 100%. Um, she was a
Must be
Tory
nice.
voter. She was a Tory voter all her life. She's seen through it. Like, she's worse than me. She's at Reform branch meetings every bloody week. She's like running around delivering leaflets and stuff. She's fucking mad for it. And she'll ask me sometimes. She'll be like, "You want to come at the branch meeting?" I'm like, "I can't. I've got to do an episode with the boys." But it's for me. It's as well. It's making an excuse because, like you said, like you boys have said, when I go out now, when I go to UTK on Saturday, I feel in my element then. I've got my camera, talking to people. We know what's going on, and you can talk to these people, and you know you're not going to get. I mean, and I'll deliberately go and talk to lefties. I've been there, done that last year, where I'll go into the fray and just shove a camera in front of their faces and expose them for what they are. But yeah, if I meet my mates out, or if I go out with the boys, they're all asking me questions, and they'll be like, "How's it going online? Like, what you do is amazing." Blah 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 blah, and then I kind of feel like they want to talk about politics. I'll start talking about it, but they're like here, and then I go like this, and you just see their faces. They're just like, "The fuck is he going on about?" I'm
There's no point.
talking about. They don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just like, yeah. I forget that like you're not. And it's product of what we do, and for me
don't you
especially,
think
do this.
don't you think it's nice in a way though, Brucey, that they kind of that they're trying to make an effort, or they're trying to talk to you about
Oh
it?
yeah,
I
yeah.
I'm the arsehole, I'll be honest with you, because the amount of times, I've been out with my mates or whatever, and they're talking like, "Oh, did you see that goal? Aston Villa," da, 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 da." And I'm just like, and I
Yeah,
think, Rich, just fucking, just pretend, just go along with it for now, mate. And I don't know what it is. I almost get angry now just talking about ordinary stuff. It's weird because I'm like, people, like, we need to be talking about the serious issues here. Do you know what I mean?
Do you
So,
find you
we're
drop
the
into
arseholes.
it? Because that's what I find. I find
Yeah.
so like the only separation I've got, and you know about this, Rich, and you Swan. I've got my racing simulator, so that's kind of like my get
Say
away.
someone race me.
And I will. My best mate will pop round. He'll come around on Sunday, and he knows what I do. And we don't talk about that because me and him will just talk about Formula One. We've been best friends for like 40 years, so we're comfortable. I don't have to see him for 6 months. We've got that kind of friendship that he can just come round and nothing changes. It's one of them good friendships, and we're related. He's my cousin as well, so that helps. But he's the only person I can do it with. My family come round. It's a similar thing. We can talk about other stuff, but when I bump into just like old football mates who are still good friends, like
It's hard work.
but they can turn around and be like, "Yeah, fucking went out on site the other day, and we all our building materials have gone up." And straight away, I'm like, "You know why that is, don't you? Fucking Labour government." And I'll just jump straight into it. I'm straight into the politics. Like, I can't help it. I can't.
So yeah, Bruce, it's really important to keep these things going, though, I think, because otherwise you just get sucked into this world where you literally cannot have normal, or what we see as normal, conversations with people. Because to me, they are dumbed down conversations. And I've had a Portsmouth season ticket for 22 years now, so I refuse to give that up. It's my thing with my dad. It's my thing with my brother. But the conversations at football, the fact there's 21,000 men willing to scream at each other about other men rolling on the floor and kicking a ball round. But then I leave that place and I instantly read that, a girl's been raped or there's a lie in Parliament, I just think, what are we doing here still? And I've lost all sort of emotional attachment to sport, to films, to
Oh,
music.
mate, yeah, yeah.
It's
Not
just
necessarily films and sport, but I haven't watched a game of football. Like I played football for 20 years with all my local mates, semi decent league. Support. I'm obviously a football supporter. Fuck, I was the definitive guy. 1998, 1996, 2002 World. You know, all the European chat. I was the guy at the bar. England flag, up at 5 a.m. to watch the Brazil game with the boys down the pub, getting a beer breakfast. Like, that was me for like 10 years. I went to an England game. When was the last time we played? See, I don't even know. Like, there would have been a time where I would have known exactly when England were playing,
that's it.
Always
exactly what
hated football.
championships. Yeah, well, but whatever
You
it is
do
your
look like a
interest
rugby lad,
is. But
piss
what was
drinker.
are you rugby? Are you, Rich? But how invested are you in it still? Do you find that you've dropped away from other things because you've
No, I
become
don't
more
like,
politically?
I don't, no, I
Don't
like
have
rugby.
any
I don't
other
like football.
interest?
Do you know what
He just looks
I
soft.
hate? No, I hate team games because all team games, and I don't care what anyone says here, yeah, any sport that involves a team always involves dickhead fans, and there's no other way to put it, right? It always involves dickhead fans, people who turn up en masse, yeah, who the moment they all come together, their IQ instantly halves. And like you see these fully grown men, and they're like doctors and engineers, not the ones that not the rubber dinghy rapid bros, like actual ones like from here who have got proper qualifications, not ones that they got in like Kenya or something. Like they just instantly become stupid. And like, oh, yeah, kick the ball, oh, yeah,
Like
kick the ball again.
devolution.
Yeah, and I just think, but you don't get that in non-team sports. I mean, yes,
Yes, you
F1 is
do.
a team sport. No, you don't. F1 is a
Yes,
team
you do.
sport, right? But you don't necessarily get that, do you? Tennis,
Have you ever been
you
to
don't
boxing?
really get it. But yeah, but I mean,
Boxing, everyone wants to punch the
no.
shit out of each other. Not
Yeah, but that's
unite,
just
not stand there and say, right, we should probably punch the shit out of the people causing chaos all over the country. They punch
yeah, but
shit out
that's
of each other. Go back to the
it's not as
Colosseum.
bad as it is with football.
Sport is just a division. Every single sport is a way of dividing opinion,
Bread and
who you
circuses.
support. It is 100%.
Yeah,
And I
it's a
love
distraction.
football. I will still watch football, but my emotional attachment is with my country, with my future, with my opportunities, and with my people. It's not about what, I went and watched Pompey 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what the score was. I don't care.
When watch what?
Pompey,
Pompey,
What's
Portsmouth.
that?
Portsmouth, at the Blues.
Oh. Oh, these new sports that these kids are coming up with nowadays. What's Pompey?
What's Pompey?
How uncultural
Right,
are
so
you?
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the most viral videos I did in 2023 was actually the Portsmouth supporters one. I don't know if you ever saw this. Did you ever
Yeah, I
see
did.
this?
I think I did.
The free Portsmouth. It was fucking priceless. So basically,
Well,
there's 2023. There's a pro-Palestine protest going on and you had all it was probably where this all really started kicking off about 2023 with that lot. So you had the pro-Palestine lot stood in the middle of Portsmouth city centre, and but it was like 10, 20 of them, maybe 30 of them, and they're all giving it the whole free Palestine, and he just runs in with his Pompey flag and he's like free Portsmouth. Free. I managed to get a clip of it and sent it out on TikTok, and I got like 1.3 million views. Everyone was just pissing themselves. But
it's good crack.
yeah, like
story.
I struggle now because I sit in my house all day recording, and I'll tell you what, the only real interaction apart from with my best mate, like I get it with you guys. I probably have spoken to you boys more this year than I've spoken to some of my closest friends or even some of my family.
That's
And you've been
really
ignoring my
sad because
messages for
It
six
is
months.
sad. It is sad.
it's
But
really sad
love-
because I
go-
only ever
I
speak
love
to
what
you when I
do.
absolutely have to.
Oh no, this Monday night
I'm
session's
just gonna have
getting
a
a
bit
bit
of my
long
drink,
for me.
Rich.
No, it is. But listen,
It's-
I don't want to get too like too depressing or anything, too depressive. But I think what we do is it's a very lonely
Isolationist.
thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it is because you're obviously focusing on your individual sort of platform. You're getting your videos out, and every single time you see it, like it's one of these, you're in a car, you're in your drive, or you're in your bedroom or whatever. I'm
It's
constantly
lone
in
working,
this-
isn't it?
Yeah,
Lone
I'm
working, yeah.
constantly in this window. Blah 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 blah, and over the course of a day, like I look out the window. And obviously, my boy for me is my saviour because he brings me back, and he forces. If anything, he forces me. If it weren't if I didn't have him, I'd sit in this house 24 hours a day, just churning stuff out. If it weren't for me, I think he could be a little bit of a savior for me, because yeah, he breaks up my week. He then forces me to play Minecraft with him. You know, we go and play bow and arrows in the garden, or go and race his little remote control car around, or go to the bike track, or down to the park. And I know I have to do that as his dad. But I think if I didn't have him, I'd fucking sit and fester in here 24 hours a day. I think I would become a recluse. And I do worry sometimes that if for whatever reason he wasn't here, I don't think I'd go out anymore. Unless it was like a protest where I knew I was going somewhere with like-minded people, or an event with like-minded people. Like,
I'll be completely honest. I got myself into a bit of a reclusive position last year because I was just so focused on doing all of this online stuff. It was all very new to me. I'd lost a lot of relationships. Tensions were high within the family. So I just kind of did just lock myself in and just do that all the time. And then it got to the point where that became too much. So then I just didn't do any of it. So then for a few months, I wasn't putting any content out there, but I wasn't leaving the house still. And then I really needed a wake up call sort of last winter and just say, like, mate, you got to sort yourself out here. This is no life. And that's why I still go to football. That's why I think it is important to have that sort of fake bullshit, low
oh,
level
it's so important, mate.
frequency
Yeah,
life, bit of
yeah,
Netflix, bit of whatever. Do you know what I mean? Dumb yourself
yeah.
down now and then. Because you just look around, you think, how can I be thinking up here and thinking forward whilst everyone else is still thinking down here and doing absolutely nothing to change it? So,
Do you
yeah.
ever? So I've got to put a point now. So I don't know if you know what I did. So about well, it was April last year, or was it January, February, March last year? I was I had like over 250,000 followers on TikTok. I'd started doing my YouTube, my Facebook. I probably just started doing it on there, and I picked up a lot of followers really quick on Facebook. And I was really getting pissed off with my job. So I was obviously I was going to the college all the time, and I was out and about on site with the apprentices and stuff, and heavily doing what I was doing at the college. Then sort of moved into digital development at the college, and that didn't really work out how I wanted it to. So around about April last year, I made the conscious decision. I was like, right, this is going all right. I'm kind of in a good position in my life where I haven't got too much to worry about apart from my little boy. I think I'm going to have a crack at this, at just doing this on my own. And because I love working from home, I love editing, I love being a little bit as creative as I'm capable of being. So I made the decision to go self-employed in July, handed my notice in, basically walked out the door on the Friday of my last day. And I think if they could have done, they'd have kicked me up the arse as I went, because because I'd obviously been doing this for about 2 years, and they hadn't really noticed I was doing it. But then more and more people at the college started seeing what I was doing. So I don't think they liked what I was doing, because they're all lefties. So I then made this conscious decision to come and do content creation. And then you start picking, and I suppose you've got about this, and you, Swanee, because you've got good followings. You get to a point, don't you, where it's then not fun. It then becomes a responsibility and a job. And for me, it's now my job. So I feel like I have to be doing this, because the messages I get, the comments, the supporters, the people that want to see your videos, I've got people subscribing to me. And it's not that I don't want to do this, but it changes. It goes from a point, I think, there's a point where it's a little bit casual and you just speak in your mind, to then you become so invested in it that you're just like, you end up this like shell of yourself, just it's all like news, politics, news, politics, news, politics. And I think that's had an effect on me a little bit. And if it weren't for him, I'd be a nightmare, I think. I think I would gradually slip into like 10 videos a day, just constantly buried in legislation and stuff. So at least he pulls me out of it a little bit. But do you feel a responsibility? Do you feel like you got a responsibility?
It's weird for me because I don't earn a lot of money from it, so it isn't a job whatsoever, really. But I do have a lot of like genuine support and a lot of
Yeah.
messages and a lot of hope from what I say online. So I feel the responsibility socially to do it, which I think is even harder because I'm not getting a reward from it. I'm just having to read the doom and gloom. I'm having to put my opinion out there, and I'm having to look at the numbers 2 hours later, 3 hours later, and sort of react to that. But I would. I think I am longing the wait out for the day I can make this full time. I do think I'd enjoy it a little bit more. It's just having my own schedule, 8 till 4, Monday to Friday, having to go and work, and then having to find the motivation to do it,
It's
even when you're
hard,
not
mate.
getting paid, even when you're just getting called a prick here, there, and everywhere or whatever.
It's not very
It's
good then.
like, well, that's just me though. I'm a prick, and I'm a prick that's going to go put my opinion out on the internet, and then people are going to call me a
Good for
prick for
you.
it. And you know what? Yeah,
Yeah, good
I'm
for
a
you.
I
prick.
think people don't realise the amount of shit we get, do they? Really?
Oh, do you want honestly, mate? So I got one today, and I'm fuming because I managed to track the person down. Right. So this, sorry guys, I probably just jumped straight in there, but
No, you're
you
yeah.
oh man. So I don't even know if I want to read these out.
Just cut the naughty words out.
Okay, so
I
today,
can see him getting angry.
what I was
Yeah.
going to do, right, was, and I've managed to track this person down. The way I managed to track them down was they've sent me messages on TikTok. I've gone onto their TikTok. They've got a username. I typed their username into Google. They've also used that for their Instagram. I went onto their Instagram, and their mum, they put a post up, basically their graduation at school, and then their mum commented on the page saying, "So proud of you, son." I then went into his mum's profile, and can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's right. You look like you're pulling faces or something. Then
Detective
And then-
Yeah,
Rich.
because we're listening to
well,
fucking the Pink
I went into
Panther here.
so I went into his mum. So I went into his mum's profile. She's got a cleaning business. She's registered on Company's House, and she's got her home address as the company address, right? So I'm like, right, sound. And I've not done it yet, but I feel like just reporting it to the police, just to see what happens, right? How are you going to save the kids when you're 6 feet under? TikTok, TikTok, we're coming for you. He's actually put cumin for you, like the spice. Spastic. He's then put, wait till we see you in Chester with your kid. At least the state will look after it when you're gone. If you ask nicely, we won't do your kid too, and let it go and live on ask nice with a knife emoji. Keep advertising Tommy's March, and I'll come to Chester and slit your throat and do unspeakable things to your family. Your kids will be my kids, and I will look after them real nice. We all will. Like, what goes through someone's mind, right? Where they think, like...
It's fucking
Threatening a
insane,
fucking
man.
3-year-old,
Yeah, like,
5-year-old.
but
What
this
the
is-
fuck?
This is an almost daily occurrence, right? So a lot of people give me stick online because I've said in the past, like, I've got a lady who basically she does my inboxes for me, because I can't read stuff like that day in, day out. We get it in comment sections all the time. You see the surface level stuff, oh, you grifter and all the rest of it. Like, you guys know, I don't earn a penny from my social media. I'm demonetized on everything, right? So everything I do, every video I upload and all the rest of it is purely because I feel like I need to speak out. They say, oh, and I know I go on about this quite a lot, but it really winds me up. Oh, it's a grift. Oh, he's just trying to, earn money. It's like, if I was a grifter, I wouldn't pick a political party and say my allegiance. Not my allegiance, but I kind of choose them. I'd stay apolitical. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't put my opinions out there. And when people have a problem with it, I'd say, well, I don't care if you don't like it, unfollow me. I'm doing it because I believe it's what I need to be doing.
So you
These
do feel like
messages
you've got a responsibility.
Yeah, because on the flip side of that is I also get so many messages from people. I had a guy, right, who I was messaging him back and forth last week. He was going to commit suicide, basically. And he was telling me, things have got so bad. I'd given him light and all the rest of it. I was like, what was it? I was like the light at the end of the tunnel for so long, but he just can't cope with it anymore. Blah 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 blah. He was going on and on, and in the end, I was like, right, let's just have a conversation. So I ended up giving him my number. We had a chat and stuff, and he's still in contact with me now. So thankfully, nothing come of it. But I'm signposting him basically to speak with people. So on the flip side of getting that abuse constantly, there's also the good that comes from it as well. Like, you can talk to people, you can help people, but then you guys will know this yourselves, you get a lot of support from people who say, thank you so much for doing what you're doing, because without you, I'd feel so much more lost than I already am. So you've got to kind of take it with a pinch of salt, but yeah, I don't really know.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
I used to have a few of those messages like you got, Rich, and definitely the first 2 years I was doing this. But I don't know if it's just because, like we spoke before, where I said you'd kind of develop a shell. I think when me and you did the one, Rich, where I said you develop a shell with this stuff.
Yeah.
But as well, I kind of learned to automate replies, and I don't necessarily reply to DMs. I spend more of my time on the comment section responding to people on comments, and that's why I have a subscriber group. So it's if people really want to talk to me, the best place to do it is in my subgroup. But because you can only focus on so much. I mean, in a day across social media, considering I'm on Instagram, you know, all of the platforms, I can get like 1,000 messages a week, easy, just going across all of them. That's just messages. So then forget about comments. Like some comments you're seeing is like 200-300 per video. I can't respond to all that. But then I did go through a phase where I saw a lot of these nasty comments, and I thought, do you know what? They're just keyboard warriors. But I don't like seeing it, because obviously when you bring a child into it, you do yourself, Rich, you've got kids. When you bring a child into it and you really start to wake up to how many fucking nutters there are out there, and doing what we do, you kind of have to take a position where you're just like, right, what do I do? Do I stop doing this? Like, consider Wesley Winters, yeah? Wesley. So I've heard some stuff off the back of what happened to Wesley, where they've got a list of people that they were going around trying to do that to. They're looking for people. They are looking for people. And I think he was extremely lucky. Obviously, he had a bad situation and he's still got some operations to go through. I think he says he was lucky. But there are some absolute fucking nutters out there. And my mum worries about me all the time. She was fucking furious with me. She said, like, why did you show that video of you walking down the street going to do your vote? I'm like, Mum, no one can tell where I live in the middle of nowhere in Suffolk. So I am very conscious of where my location gets shown.
You can, from that video alone.
Well, yeah, I know. If someone really wanted to, like,
But that's the thing. If they really wanted,
I have something up on my wall up there that they probably wouldn't want to meet the sharp end of, but from 150 yards. But then you get to a point where you're like, actually, do you know what? Like, fuck these people, because I do. I notice that I get 20 times more positive than I get negative. And that's been escalating up over the years as more and more people wake up and more people become engaged with it. So then it does become a responsibility, because you want to sort of give your opinion. And that's what I find is I've always tried to be like 99.9, but I'm going to get things wrong from time to time, but I try to be like 95% truthful in what I'm doing. I'm going to make mistakes and get statistics wrong sometimes, but then it's these people that just come out. Did you see the thing with what's his name, Motin Ali on BBC earlier, where they had a Reform UK candidate and Moffat? So he sat in the studio and he's basically just turned around and gone to her face, this is live on studio, and gone, yeah, everything about Reform UK's policy is fascist. And she went, well, name something in the policy that's fascist, or people that support Reform UK. And as soon as they asked the question, he turns around and goes, they want to privatise the NHS. And she's like, but there's nothing written in the policy that said that. You're quoting, Farage said this in 2000, and he just goes like, it's really
even if
angry.
They did, that's not fascist anyway. That's not
exactly fascism. He linked that to
yeah,
it's bullshit, mate. And I think there's so many angry people on that side that have been radicalised by the media, by this. I just don't understand this narrative that they have. And I find even when people on the right who get pissed off with me for my opinion, maybe I say something about reform. I actually had a guy in a live the other day telling me, he's like, why the fuck are you slagging off reform? And I was just being a little bit critical about something they've done, because I personally believe we have to hold political parties to account. But you get some people that are... But even then, he was quite tame in his attack, because then everyone just turned around and said, he's not talking about that. He's making a valid point. Like, we need to hold him to account. But you get some people just get so aggressive. But on the left, it's even worse. My God, they're aggressive.
Oh, way worse. And it's funny, isn't it? Because there's only one side. Okay, let's stick to the kind of... We've spoken about left and right and how it's not... I don't necessarily think it's a real thing, but it's just the easiest way to put people into those categories, right?
Yeah.
There's only one side that tries to silence their political opponents. There's only one side that uses intimidation and violence against their opponents. There's only one side that, if there's a political meeting that's been announced, they ring up the venues and say, get that shut down.
Cancel it.
Firebomb it. And,
cancel culture.
Like, it's fascist. That is trying to silence your political opposition through violence, through threats. That is fascism in itself. The right aren't doing that. We're actually the least fascist form of of people, if you like, because we're championing free speech. We're championing like all the things
Unity.
that are literally anti-fascist. They've and people don't question it. I had it today in one of my comments. Oh, you're a racist, and I just put, can you give me an example? And they put, don't need to, and it's like,
Yeah,
Kind of
oh
do.
mate,
Good one. Good one.
yeah,
Nice one,
That
yeah,
response
like-
winds me up. Yeah, as soon as you ask for an example, they can never give you one.
No,
I get it all the time.
no.
It's a weird world,
idiots.
isn't it? It's a really weird world, and and the funny thing is, we've spoke about this before. It's not just here, because I tell you what. But going back to the previous episode, you mentioned something, Rich, about the police, saying that the left were the problem.
Yeah.
Well, there was a clip, weren't there? Rebel News. What's his name? I forget his name.
I can't do names. I always forget
AY.
names.
Is it? Yeah, something. No. It's like
The-
Rebel News in Australia. He's got a massive account. Rebel News, like a big like organisation. They have like loads of independent journalists. Look them up; they're really good.
Bit out of my time
I've
zone.
actually met him. He was
Usually
at UTK last year. I can't think of his name. Oh, it's really annoying. So anyway, he goes out and about and does what we do in Australia. Like he'll go out on the streets, he'll put a camera in front. But he was the same as you, Rich. They were walking up. So the police came up to him and said, "Right, we just need to drag you off over here. Just come and stand over here." This was all recorded. And he stood there with his camera, and he kind of had it to the side, and he turned around to the cop. He said, I'm not doing anything wrong here. He goes, they keep like shouting at me. And he went, mate, we know they're the problem. We know they're the problem. We know they're the issue.
Yeah.
And you've seen it. You know what I'm on
Yeah.
about? Yeah. It's so funny. It's so funny. And it just played like... I don't ever see anyone showing me comments or any lefties showing me comments like, oh, this right-winger sent me a death threat. This right-winger said he was going to do my kids in. This right-winger said he was going to come to my house and do stuff to my... I never, ever see that. But I tell you what, every person I talk to who does what we do, yourself, you boys, me, many other people... The amount of times I'll hear from him, like, yeah, I had this guy threatening, like, saying he was going to find out where I live and come and do my kids in. And if he saw me in the street, he was going to come and slash my throat. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? And you're
People are
talking
nuts.
about politics.
They literally go on about like, oh, we need to help our refugees. We need to help these people who are in danger. Da, 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 da. Also, I'm going to dox your address where your 2-year-old lives. Ha ha. It's
Yeah.
like, what? Like,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Well, maybe if you
Or I'm
were a
going to
better
wait
father,
for you to come out of your house when you're with your kid and I'm going to get
Yeah.
you in the shopping centre. It's like, what the
It's like, so
fucking
do you care
planet
about
are you
people
living
or
on?
don't you care? Like, yeah, it's wild, man. But I cling to the hope that I think it is shifting. People are realising now. I mean, even I'm not going to try and make it all about like obviously reform and all the rest of it, but like Layla Cunningham, what's her name? Michelle Dewberry.
I saw the
There have been,
episode.
like,
I know what you're going to talk about. Yeah.
3 or 4 people now on GB News alone this week have turned around and gone, do you know what? Actually, when you look at it, what's Tommy Robinson actually said that's racist? And I'm like, this is being discussed on GB News. Like, there's a shift. We're seeing police officers now more and more often. And do you know what? We've played a blinder here because we're turning up to our protests on the so-called right. And for the most part, we get on with the police. We're, to the point where we get flack for it. Tommy Robinson gets flack for working with the Metropolitan Police while he's setting up his protests, working with them for the routes and the barriers and all the rest of it, permissions and trying to do it all properly. We
But
get
then
abused for
that's
that.
the extreme minority on our side, isn't it? The
Like the actual extreme right.
Yeah.
What was my point going to be then? My point was going to be, we've played a blinder here because we don't cause the police any issues really, but the left do consistently, and I don't care, right? There will come a point where every single police officer, as a human being, will go, do you know what? I've had enough of this. I've had enough of them, and they will, mate. It will increase and increase to the point where the police they'll just come down,
Turn
they'll
the
just be on
screw.
our
They'll
side.
turn the screw, won't they? Yeah, they'll
and we're
turn the
seeing
screw.
it. We're
Yeah.
seeing it now at protests. We're seeing it.
Well, I think it'll also come. I think what you'll see is, especially off the back of I know we're kind of delving back into this again, but especially off the back of the elections last week, we'll get past this in a sec. But I think that's where you'll see the shift, is because they'll start to realise that the public are voting for a change, and the narrative shift. It then becomes, this isn't a minority of people. This is the working class. This is a lot of people are standing up. They are starting to align with this. They're not as bad as people are making out they are. And more people will start to see that. You're always going to get the people that don't want to see it if it was right underneath their nose. But they're the lefties, and then they turn out to be the aggressive ones. They're the ones who are then attacking people on the streets. They're trying to knock people off their bikes. They're just fucking ignorant people, aren't they? They're
yeah,
radicals.
and I want these people in positions of power. So, you know, your chief constables and all the rest of it, these people who not necessarily are in power, they're kind of the middlemen, you know, they control their precinct or whatever it's called within the police force. There will come a point, because we're not going to have this left-wing government forever, right? And I know Labour, they're central, but I do believe they're more left-leaning, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to be around forever. And I think these people will be held to account someday. And if any of them are watching this, I highly doubt they are, bear that in mind when you're making your decisions, because this bubble, this protection that you've got is not going to be around forever. It just isn't.
No. Well, that's the thing. The whole equality, diversity, and inclusion thing is just a fucking lie in itself, isn't it? Yeah. Because they are the least. If you believe in equality, then everybody's equal, except if you're a white man who has a union flag. If you're a white English man, you are the problem, and everybody else is okay. So that goes against inclusion for a start.
True equality is having a workforce that is 90% white if 90% of the applicants who happen to be the best were white. True equality is having 90% workforce that is black if it just so happens that in your area there are lots of black people, and the people you interviewed, 90% of them happen to be the best applicant at the time. True equality isn't, oh, we need to have 50 black people, 50 white people, 50 males, 50 females. Like, that's not equality, because there's nothing equal in that. I mean, you look at airlines now. You know, the mark to pass the basic test now just to become an airline pilot. They're dropping the test scores, the benchmarks that you have to reach, because, oh, we have to have so many people who come from Sudan so that they can be pilots. Well, isn't the average IQ in Sudan like 75? Yeah. It's like, well, so what are we doing here? Like, if they're good enough and they're from Sudan and they meet the test, you know, the marks, fine.
Right.
But if they're not, like, mate, go and like scrub toilets or stacks. Do you know what I mean? Go and do something else. You're not fit to be an airline pilot.
But the funny thing is, there are examples of this alternate, the opposite side of this DEI thing.
Not there's anything wrong with scrubbing toilets before anyone has a go at me. I've scrubbed toilets back in the day.
So have I. So I asked someone, I'll ask you boys this question now, yeah? When was the last time a white man held a world record for the 100-metre sprint?
I've lived like an eighth of the same life as you have, so I can't answer that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Why is the NBA like 85% black? Like, because they just so happen to be better at that particular sport.
Because they're better at it. And you don't see, and I'll tell you what, this is the funny thing, yeah? It's about 1952. I can't remember the name of the guy. He broke the world record, or I think the other one was, when was the last time one had won a gold medal at any kind of European, world, or Olympic event? And it's like the 50s. Like, it's a long time ago. So you've had black guys, American black guys, Jamaican black guys, dominating this sport for 50, 60 years. And when you look at the lineup, it'll always be black guys in the finals everywhere. No one bats an eyelid. No one bats an eyelid. No one ever turns around and says two of those lanes should have a white person in them. Can you imagine that? Oh, these guys have dominated this.
Wouldn't you feel embarrassed if your ethnicity was hired based on just ticking boxes?
But I think the problem is if you talk to a lot of black guys and you talk to a lot of minority, they feel the same fucking way.
100%.
It's not them pushing the narrative.
No.
It's people at the top trying to push an agenda, because they'll turn around and say, yeah, do you know what? I want to be the best in my position. I want to be hired because I'm the best, not because of my skin colour. Because it's fucking the definition of racism. If you're hiring someone because of their skin colour to serve a narrative, That's racism at the end of the
Was,
day.
wasn't it West Midlands police that had like an application for
Yeah,
ethnic minorities?
only ethnic
That
minorities.
North York's did as well, West York's, the Metropolitan Police. There are multiple councils across the UK, the NHS, the Armed Forces, the British
Yeah,
Army, RAF. Oh, we're only going to hire, 10% white people to try and balance it out. It's like, just hire the right person for the job. Do you think, right, if someone said to me, your life depends on it now, you've got to have a dance-off. You can either choose the fat, middle-aged white man or the young, athletic, 23-year-old black male. Like, do you think I'd choose to have a dance-off with the black guy? Absolutely not, because we just know he's going to beat me at a dance-off. Do you know what I mean? Like, or a running race, or there are so many things that, like, and it's the same with this gender thing, isn't it? Like, we know jobs that require compassion, are usually better. You look at like nursery teachers, for example, women tend to be better with children than men. Like we just know that that's the case. But now Ofsted and all the rest of it, they're like, oh, we need to get more men working in nurseries. Why? Why?
Yeah.
Well, because that's
Yeah.
equality. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, leave it open and let the best possible candidate get the job. That is true equality. I'm sorry, but if you're too stupid for this job, or if you're not well suited, you don't get the job. It's like this LGBTQ crap that they keep going. I don't know a single gay person who's like, oh, I'm really thankful that we have pride parades. Like, it's just, they don't want it. They're like, it just causes more division. But it's pushed and pushed and pushed because it creates more division.
That's exactly what they want. And then
it's a very clever way of doing
the idiots on the right in our sort of bracket of political views, the idiots will then attack the minorities because they're like, well, we haven't got that same chance. Why do you deserve this? They can't. It's causing the division, it's causing the divide, and it's easy to see.
manufactured. It's manufactured, and the funny thing is like I said to you boys before, and when we've spoken in the group, is I obviously grew up in. I left school in 1993, and it was a very, very different country then. As much as there would be there's obviously, like, we're not stupid enough to sit here and say there aren't abhorrent racists in this country. There are always going to be people that are extremely far right orientated. Like, there's people who are extremely left-wing orientated. You're always going to get those minorities of people. But when I grew up don't get me wrong, like, it's very easy for us as three white guys to sit here talking about this stuff and say racism, but I just don't think it was. I had black friends. I had friends that were Indian and stuff like that. And we had people that were from different cultures. And it just didn't seem to be this division, and there never seemed to be. It was just like they were another. And even if you touched on something that was touching, a bit close to the line, there was never like a kickback. It was just like, yeah, don't worry about it, mate. It's all good. And now it's like they try to push everyone further and further apart and generate a narrative either on the minority side, and we get brandished as something we're not, or not brandished, but tarnished as something we're not. Yeah, it was a very different world, and you can, for me, especially being a bit older, I can see when I turned 22, 23 years old, as the turn of the century comes in, spent most of my adult life living through this. I've such a noticeable change in how the country was, and especially for you, Aaron, like, you've only ever really known this in your adult life, but I'm old enough to remember when it was, and don't get me wrong, like, there were problems in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, and there was always problems, but it weren't like this, not even close to this.
I don't think people knew about it as much. We've got a lot more freedom and access to
Social media,
information.
mate. Yeah,
Yeah,
social media didn't help.
That's
that's
the perfect
okay.
amount of time. And yeah, right. Well, everyone, we're going to have to cut this amazing conversation short because Swano is running out of battery, so we can all blame
As
him.
usual. Thank you
Thank you
very
all
much.
so much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next episode.
See you there.